So in high ticket sales, what you decide to sell dictates your income. And I've sold everything from high level B2B, so selling to business owners, to fitness coaching, to how to make money online, courses, mentorships, masterminds, all kinds of different things, everything you can really imagine in this industry. So I've seen firsthand what works and where I've made personally the most money, and also what's difficult, where people usually struggle. Because I've also coached hundreds of people one-on-one in the high-tech sales space, help normal 9-to-5ers, people are in school, helping them get into this industry, make 5-10K a month. So I've seen this pattern where certain industries are easier for a beginner to get into, they make more money faster, and I want to share that with you in this video so you can make better decisions about what space to get into. Because you need to understand that what industry you get into really dictates everything. If you get into the wrong industry right now, for example, I see people try to get into offers that were popping like a couple of years ago. For example, like a big thing is usually drop shipping, can be an industry that was popping off a couple of years ago, and now it's not really that big anymore. And a lot of people are not having trust and not getting into drop shipping anymore. And then as a sales rep in a drop shipping offer, you will struggle a lot. On the other hand, there's also other industries such as looks maxing, such as AI, and some other things that are booming right now, where sales reps, I know people personally that are in these industries, and I'm also in these industries, doing sales, doing high ticket sales, either sales management, closing, or appointment setting for these type of industries, type of offers in high ticket sales, making so much money, not because of the skill set, but just because of being the right boat. You know, you hear this quote by, I think it's Warren Buffett, says this, it's not about how hard you row, it's about the boat that you're in. And this applies massively to high ticket sales, okay? I talk about this all the time, but you need to have a good skill set, you need to know what you're doing, obviously, to make good money. But you can have the best skill set ever, you can be the best person ever, but if you're not in the right boat, you will not succeed. This has been such a big key on my journey, and for the guys that I coach as well, is that being in the right boat. So how do you actually get in the right boat? And what's the right boat for you to get into as a beginner? First thing, the first question to really answer is like B2B versus B2C. Okay, a lot of people ask me this, is like, should I sell an offer that helps businesses? So selling business to business, that's what B2B means. Or should I work for a company and high ticket sales offer that sells to consumers, aka B2C, okay? Most people, when they think about high ticket sales, you hear me talk about, and most people talk about offers of teaching people how to make money online. So like drop shipping, e-com, trading, AI, and things like that. That's what people mostly talk about. But there's also so many other offers you can go and sell. Big industries, for example, working for an agency. You know, there's a lot of agencies that sell digital services to like local businesses, where they help them run their ads, or they help them get more customers through the door, etc. And it's like a 2K, 5K, 10K, even like 20K offer that they're selling towards these local businesses. These companies also need sales reps, okay? So to answer your question there, it's like you need to think about, you need to expand the horizon, you know? It's not only like core sellers like TGR, Best Scales, and Emagadzi you can go and sell for. If you resonate with those type of people and you want to sell to beginners that want to make money online, great, go and sell for an offer like that, for sure. But if you do not, if you want to talk to more high level people are maybe have more finances to invest in themselves, and you want to sell something that you're more interested in, like the more high level, how people speak when they're an entrepreneur, a business owner, someone who's more like high level at just the business overall. If you resonate with that, then you're going to do better selling for a B2B offer. And when I started my journey, I'll share with you a bit of a funny story, because when I started off in high ticket sales, I was super bad selling B2C, selling to consumers, because I like this having very logical conversations, because I used to run an agency before, so I used to be very like logical. I wanted to talk only to business owners, and as a result of that, I struggled to sell B2C, which is actually my first offer that I landed was a B2C, helping professionals in the US to get into like Airbnb and make money like online, get freedom by running an Airbnb business. So for me, I had to learn like emotional intelligence, how to actually connect with people at a deeper level. There's all these different skills I had to learn going from like a B2B kind of background, I guess you could say, into selling to beginners. So understand there's two different paths to take there, two different like B2B versus B2C. And it largely comes down to like what you prefer, but also as a beginner, you will naturally do better selling to B2C because you understand them better. You're closer to where they're at. If you haven't run your own business, you don't have all this like business lingo, etc., you're gonna do better selling to a beginner. So if you're a beginner right now, you're starting off trying to like go from 9 to 5 into high ticket sales, so you're trying to go from another type of business and you don't have this massive experience, you should definitely go into B2C, selling to consumers, because you just understand how they speak better, you understand their pains better and their goals better. And as a result, that you'll be able to connect with them better and you're gonna enjoy because you actually you can actually lead those people through their decision-making patterns, which is what high-ticket sales is leading people. If you have experience from running a business, or you're in like, let's say in construction, or like some other like online or like offline, like in-person business, and you have experience and you like talking to a specific avatar, you have experience being like a business owner, etc., then you might do better selling to business owners because you understand them better, you understand like how they speak, etc. So that's how I'll go about picking B2C versus B2B, is figuring out what type of experience do you have, like what have you actually done? And everyone has done something. You're either used to just being a 9-to-5er and like some more traditional person who has goals of making it and making money online, etc. Or maybe you've been in the business field, etc., etc. So you get the point. You pick based off of like what you actually have knowledge and what you actually have an interest in, like who you want to be talking to. And then a big note here is, for a beginner, it's going to be easier selling to B2C overall, selling to consumers, because it's an easier avatar to talk to. Business owners, on the other hand, they're very just like high, I don't want to say high IQ, but just like they're very on top of their shit, you know? So if you sell to them, you need to be more just like dial in, know the lingo, etc., which can be difficult as a beginner to do. That's why I started off in B2C. I focus on learning like the emotional stuff and getting good at that, and just like understanding people and be able to connect, etc. That's the first skill I learned, and I use that to eventually go into B2B, where you typically make a bit more money, but it's also a bit more advanced. That's how I pick between B2C and B2B. When it comes to then like picking inside of the B2C space, what to get into, or the B2B space, you simply need to look at two different things. Number one, where is opportunity? Where is money and attention flowing towards right now? And number two, what do you actually resonate with? Those are two lenses you want to look at things through. So I'll give you an example here. I have always had like an interest for like the kind of the primal, like I eat raw meat, raw eggs. You might think I'm super weird for doing this, but I've eaten raw meat for like almost 2 years now, on and off, and raw eggs and things like that. That's what I eat every single day. So I have an interest for that specific, like the specific primal diet, kind of coaching, that whole industry. I've invested into that myself, and I'm very into that. I read about that stuff every single day. For me, getting into that space and selling and offering that industry is like a perfect thing, because it's a fast growing opportunity where more and more people are right now getting interested in it. It's like it's flowing attention towards that. And I have a very personal and like unique interest in that, which is why I'm going to connect well with the avatars. I'm going to trust in the offer. I'm going to believe in what I'm selling. Everything's going to line up there. That's a perfect example here. Another example is like if you're super into AI and you're super like, you just love learning about AI, you're super interested in like cloud code and all these different things, and you actually want to use that to make money, then instead of starting your own business and trying to like compete with everyone else, trying to like build this new like lovable or whatever, like this new product from scratch, then what you can do is you use that interest that you already have. You realize, okay, there's a lot of attention right now, a lot of money flowing towards AI. You find an AI offer, for example, teaching beginners how to start their first AI business, or if you're gonna go the B2B route, selling like a company, an agency, for example, that sells AI to businesses, and you start working for them as a sales rep. Simple as that. So you want to look for those two different lenses. Like where's attention flowing right now, which is simple to figure out. You go on Instagram, you go on YouTube, and see what people are actually like making videos about that's blowing up right now. And if people are teaching and selling courses or selling services or selling programs and selling products about digital products. And then you think about like all of these industries, what do I actually have an interest in? What do I have? And ideally you want to have something that's very, very niched. You know, if you have some niched interest like I have with like the raw meat type of diet or other things, that's something to lean into. When you find that match of something that's in demand and something that you're actually interested in, that's when you make so much money. And you don't even need to be like that crazy good at sales. When these two things fall into place, I see this all the time, but even guys that I coach, so it's like they make so much money because they have these two different things in place. And when you combine that with a good skill set and you actually know what you're doing, you learn high level like psychology, how people make decisions, you learn how to lead people, you fix your identity and things like that I talk about in all my videos. That's when you print. That's when you see guys make like 20, 30, 40K a month in high ticket sales, and they just like crush it like crazy. So I hope this makes sense. I hope it gives some clarity on like what to do. You can start doing this right now. Like after this, go and think to yourself, like, what am I actually interested in? What are you actually interested in? And what are the industries that you can actually see yourself selling for? And what are, out of those industries, what do you actually see people having an interest in? And if you can get into that at the early stage, then it's like buying Bitcoin. You know, if you get into Luxmax in right now, that's absolutely like booming. And let's say you have an interest in that, you will make a lot of money because the boat and like the whole industry is like going super fast right now. It's growing, you know. So if you get in there at this point, you will get advantage, you will get a piece of that pie, and then you can just ride that wave. That's what I've done, and that's what you should do as well. There's no issue, there's nothing bad with taking advantage of growing industries. It's just like the smart thing to do. What all rich people do is it's a combination of just positioning yourself in the right way and just taking advantage of what's already out there. So hope this makes sense. If you want my help to get into the space, get trained up one-on-one to learn sales, get placed into roles by myself into my network. I have a bunch of roles hiring right now. and you're actually serious about this, you can have a conversation with me by booking a call down below. I'll see if I can actually help you out. Any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll see you tomorrow as always in the next video. Take care.